It's the Daily Beat on KBEY 103.9. I'm Ben Shields with Dakota Morrissey, the news editor at DailyTrib. And Dakota, how's your week been going?
Man, it's been busy as always.
Chasing stories, and one of the stories is Huber in Marble Falls. They want to make more rock.
Yes, if you're not familiar, Huber Carbonates has a big rock quarry. They mine limestone out of there on the south side of Marble Falls, right off of 281. And they want to produce more rock, make more material, and to do that, that means more dust. And you can't do that unless you get a special permit from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, which is where we're at right now.
All right, so how long is it going to take to get that permit?
Well, we're at this phase where they consider this application complete. So what happens now is the public gets to weigh in, and that's where we're at. There's going to be a big public meeting on May 7th at Marble Falls High School. And this isn't the first time this has been brought up. This time last year, they have actually filed for that permit, and Marble Falls protested it and said, hey, we're worried about our air quality. We're worried about the traffic from more trucks coming in and out of Huber. So this is something the city's been aware of, and they're on the record protesting it. And now this is the opportunity for the public to officially weigh in at that meeting on May 7th.
How much more rock dust could we see?
It's quadrupling. They could up to quadruple the amount of dust they're producing. And if you've ever been by there, you know it is a lot of dust. If you look at it on Google Maps, you can kind of see that aerial view of how big that quarry is and how much dust comes off of it.
All right, read more about the Huber building more rock at DailyTrib.com, DailyTrib.com/subscribe. We had the floods back in July, and Burnet got hit really hard with the floods, and the city just approved a federal program to buy back homes. What is this about, Dakota?
So this is a big deal. Our reporter Caden Sen has been following this since he got here, but the city of Burnet is partnered with the federal government to buy these properties that were either horribly damaged by the flood or they're within kind of a danger zone of where they could be flooded again, which makes it very difficult for property owners to rebuild again. And what they're going to do is they're going to use these federal funds and a little bit of city money to buy 13 specific of the worst properties in the city. And that's to help those property owners who are in a really tight spot because of the damage they sustained, and they can't necessarily get market value for their house because of the damage.
All right, read more about that at DailyTrib.com. Let's talk about transmission lines. Marble Falls, they're joining a 391 commission. What does this mean?
So the Burnet County created something called a 391 commission. Like you said, it's the Highland Lakes Sub-Regional Planning Commission to be exact. And they formed that in part to fight this state transmission line project we've been talking about for months now. But Marble Falls isn't going to be impacted by that transmission line. They joined for the future implications of this commission.
Oh, they did, okay. So what does this mean for Marble Falls?
This means, so this commission is a state-backed entity. It's a coalition of local governments. So now Burnet County, the city of Burnet, and Marble Falls are all tied by this commission. And it's not just for the transmission line project. They can do that to advocate for a lot of different things at the state level. So maybe we want to get 281 messed with. They can all band together and use this commission to have more weight with the state and federal government. They can all team up and maybe decide on mutual projects. It just depends. There's a lot of implications that come along with joining this commission, and I think we're going to learn more about that in the coming years when they realize what's possible by forming this kind of larger government entity.
All right, you write about what this means at DailyTrib.com, DailyTrib.com/subscribe. I know this happened last week, but I think it was a big deal for the Marble Falls boys soccer team that we need to talk about it. And they made history. They went the furthest that any Marble Falls boys soccer team has gone. They went to the state semifinals and dropped to a very good Waco La Vega team 3-1, but does not diminish the fine season that the Mustangs had in soccer.
No, I saw some of the photos, and I know the players seem to have taken it pretty hard, but the whole city, I mean, just outpouring of support, a ton of pride, I think, for the Mustangs for making it that far. Like you said, making history. They are our region champions for the first time. And like you said, tough team. They had to go and face La Vega at their home stadium
in Waco.
So that's a tough thing, driving up there on the home field. Their first, time making it that far, but I mean, I'm excited to see what they do down the line in future seasons.
The community really got behind them. They had their send-off. We heard a
Yeah.
fire truck go by when they were getting sent off this past week, and then or last Friday, I should say. And then also a big crowd. I heard there was a good crowd for the Mustangs there as well to watch them play last Friday.
Yeah, I think throughout their playoff run, they had an awesome turnout from the home, families, other students get out there. So definitely, I mean, maybe Marble Falls is a high school, Marble Falls is a soccer school, looking forward to seeing it.
All right, so congrats to the Marble Falls soccer team. What a fine season, and I know that they will continue to do good things in the future. All right, you want to know what's happening in your backyard? You need to make sure that you subscribe to DailyTrib because they make sure that you stay on top of all the latest news here in the Highland Lakes. DailyTrib.com, DailyTrib.com/subscribe. All right, Dakota, awesome work as always, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ben.
That's the Daily Beat on KBEY 103.9.